Hi, and welcome to a Sonicwall video tutorial. My name is Micah Vorst. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to set up and use the built-in SSL VPN service located in a Sonicwall firewall. SSL VPN provides a convenient and secure way for your organization to access company resources while away from the office. For example, an organization that has remote employees who need access to the company's file server, or an on-premise app like a time card system, or an internal website that can only be accessed while on the corporate network. Whatever the case may be, using SSL VPN provides a high level of security while still allowing employees to get the job done. Because SSL VPN uses the same type of security as secure websites such as your bank, traveling employees love this feature, who can access the corporate network while in a hotel, at a coffee shop, or in the field. SSL VPN is a licensed service, so make sure you have the appropriate number of licenses based on your organization's needs. It's easy to purchase additional licenses. Simply log into your mysonicwall.com account, locate the firewall that you'll be using, click Licenses, and then locate the license section called SSL VPN. You can purchase the additional headcount and then apply the activation key, all from a single location. For today's demonstration, I'll be using an NSA 6650 running SonicOS 6.5.2 firmware. I'll also demo the client-side software. The first is Sonicwall Net Extender, and the second is Sonicwall Mobile Connect. We'll use both apps on two different devices to help you decide what's best for your organization. Setting up the SSL VPN feature is straightforward. Before our remote employees can start using the service, we'll first need to provision user accounts, activate the SSL VPN service, and then provide the appropriate level of network access. Once the SSL VPN service has been set up, we'll hop over to another laptop and configure the built-in bookmark feature in the virtual office to remote desktop onto a corporate computer, as well as download Net Extender and access the company's internal website. After that, we'll use our handheld device and download the Mobile Connect app and confirm that we can also access the internal website. Let's begin. For this demo, I'll use a laptop on the corporate network to configure SSL VPN on the firewall. We will then access a laptop that will be outside of the corporate network and that has access to the WAN interface, or the X1 port of the Sonicwall. This is a common scenario in most environments. Before we make any changes to the firewall, it's a good idea to export the current settings file. To do this, we'll log into the firewall and then export a settings file. To export a settings file, simply click Manage, Firmware and Backups, and then Import Export Configuration. We'll select Export Configuration and save it to our Downloads folder. I recommend that you save these backups often in a secure location. Now that we have a known good configuration, let's make our changes. Head over to the Users and Local Users group. We'll create a new user by clicking the Add button. Go ahead and fill out the basic information, and then select the Groups tab. From there, we have the opportunity to select multiple groups. For our demonstration, we're going to include the SSL VPN services group to this user. You must do this if you want to be able to have this user access the SSL VPN feature. Next, click the VPN Access tab. The VPN Access tab allows us to provide network access and granularity for what this user can access. We have a very basic network, so we'll simply provide the entire X0 subnet. So let's go ahead and do that now. There, we've added the X0 subnet. The X0 subnet has a corporate machine that we'll want to access while performing our tests later. We'll click OK and head over to the SSL VPN service. Click on SSL VPN. By default, the service is not enabled. We'll enable the service on the WAN interface by clicking WAN. We'll leave the default settings alone for now and click Accept. We'll get a pop-up box saying that connections for NetExtender will be reset. No one's connected right now, so we'll hit OK. Next, head over to the Client Settings page. We'll configure the default device profile by clicking the Edit button. By default, the zone is set to SSL VPN. I've already provided a network range. To do that, simply select Create New Network, give it a range. I usually suggest to provide a range that is outside of any other network resources. That way, there won't be any conflicts. Once you hit OK, you can select the range that you just created. Next, we'll click the client routes. We mentioned earlier that we need the X0 subnet. Let's add that now. Lastly, we will select the Client Settings tab. This gives the administrator greater flexibility of how the clients will use the VPN software. We'll leave the defaults for now, but your company needs will dictate what you will enable or keep disabled. Once we click OK, the SSL VPN service has been set up. Before heading over to the client machine, you can configure the portal so that employees know that they've come to the right spot. Not everyone needs to access the portal, but when they do, it might be helpful for them to see the company logo and company title. Okay, we've configured SSL VPN, created a user, and provided the appropriate network access. Let's jump to the traveling employee's laptop and check it out. Open a modern browser and type in the IP address of the X1 interface. This is going to be the public IP address of the Sonicwall. Don't forget to use the custom port associated with the service. In our example, our custom port is 4433. Let's go ahead and log in. We'll use our username. Excellent. Once we're logged in, we are presented with a few options. We'll download NetExtender in a moment. Let's set up a bookmark. Bookmarks provide quick access to remote desktop onto a computer located in the corporate network. Users can create their own bookmarks, or the administrator can apply bookmarks at the group level. Let's set up a bookmark so that this employee always has access to the office laptop. To set up bookmarks, click Add. From there, we're going to give it a friendly name. We'll provide the computer IP address or DNS name on the corporate network. In our example, we'll use the IP address of the corporate laptop that we're wanting to remote access. You can fill out or configure specific information such as screen size or color. We're going to use custom credentials to log directly into the machine here. Once we have it set up, we'll select OK. It's easy to test. Once the bookmark is added, we can simply click on the name of the bookmark. From there, we'll use an HTML5 remote desktop to simply log in and view the remote access. Great! We know it's working. We have access to the corporate machine and can access the local files associated with it. Let's go ahead and close that for now. Bookmarks are great for remote desktop, but what if we want to access a website located on the corporate network, or a file server, or a printer? Cue NetExtender. NetExtender is a free application that provides remote users an easy way to log into the corporate network without going to a website. We can download the application straight from the virtual office page here, or we can go directly to mysonicwall.com. Let's go to mysonicwall.com and access the free downloads page. Simply navigate to a new tab, type in mysonicwall.com. Once you're there, you can select the Help icon and click Downloads. Select the product and then Net Extender. We'll download the latest Net Extender, expand the category, and select Net Extender for Windows. Once installed, we'll open Net Extender and input the server IP and port number, user, and password. We'll go ahead and connect once we do that. So 10.61.134.113.4433 and hit connect. Excellent. We can see the client IP address is within the range that we provided during setup. We can also access the internal corporate website to confirm that we have connectivity. Let's open up a browser and go to the corporate website. The IP address of the internal website that's behind the firewall on the corporate network is located at 192.168.168.200:8080. Great! We're able to connect to that website. That ensures that we have access to the VPN and other network resources. Laptops are great, but let's face it, we're on our phones constantly, and we need VPN access anywhere. There's an app for that. It's called Sonicwall Mobile Connect. It's supported on most major operating systems, including Apple and Android. Let's download the app and then connect to the corporate network. To download Mobile Connect, let's head over to the App Store. App Store, search Sonicwall. Go ahead and grab that. We'll let it download here. Once it's done, we'll go ahead and open it. We need to create a new connection, so let's do that now. We'll name it. And then the server IP or name. In this case, we have the IP, 10.61.134.113. And we're going to use the special port 4433. You can customize this port to simply use the standard HTTPS, which is 443. Go ahead and verify. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my credentials here. I'll give it the password, but in our SSL VPN setup, we've disabled the option to save passwords on clients. So I'll have to put this in each time I want to connect. You can change that when setting up the SSL VPN server. Great, let's turn it on. Under the Monitor and Settings tab will give you different options, for example, Touch ID. Let's head over to the Monitor section. We can see that our client IP address is within the range that we created, 169.1. Good. Now let's go and do the final test. We'll head over and try to access our internal corporate website. Great. We know that we have access to the internal website. If we wanted to gain other corporate resources, we could. For example, printers, file shares, or custom apps. Okay, that about wraps up the video, but before we end, we have one final step. Since we've enabled a new service, it's always a good idea to export a settings file of the firewall and store it in a safe location. Let's do that now. We'll log in, select Manage, Firmware and Backups, and Export Configuration. Well, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. To learn more about configuring Sonicwall products, visit www.sonicwall.com/support.